Hi guys, and welcome to the Now Debate. It's Jared Walters with my opposite number in the same room this time, Mr. Richard Oliver.
Hello.
And today we are going to try an experiment. And this little experiment is not going to involve any boxes or any contraptions or anything. It's going to be a little bit of, I don't know, in a sense I've got it in my head. I'm kind of developing this now as we're filming it. Like, so you were kind of, I don't know. But like almost like a channeling. So in a sense, allow a conversation to develop between us, right? And see where it takes us, right? And I want to ask you a question. This is the first question that I want to ask, right? Is why is it important to be spiritual when you're exploring the paranormal for yourself? I'm not about for science now.
Yeah.
I'm on about exploring it for yourself, right? Because you get all these contraptions and all these different little things, right? Like the ghost boxes, the phone apps and stuff like that. And like, people just want to go and use it, right? Because it's like, they think it's hotline to God.
Yeah.
Right? But why is it important to actually learn the craft in a sense first? Learn it. Because this is a question I've wanted to sort of get out and talk about for a while. Because like, this is, I think, why we capture the stuff that we do.
Yeah.
Is it because the way that we've kind of come at it? It's like, yes, we're interested in the science, we're interested in the, but like, we almost come at it as accepting it as a given it exists.
Yeah.
And then not, because like the reason why, because I'm also drawing in, I want to kind of have a cheap plug. I'm going to play the trailer again at the end of this for our feature film, which we are going to be shooting now from next week. Basically from tomorrow onwards, we're going to be shooting the film, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to be going up to London. We're going to be vlogging our journey up to London, and we're going to be visiting some friends of ours, and we're going to be putting some exclusive footage from Brothers Between Worlds on this channel. And I think that's one of the things we can do to get the videos going again, because all the other stuff is taking a while to translate, and I think we should vlog the production process. One of the reasons why, because we explore these different devices and how spirit communicate with us. But like, I thought we'd have a conversation about why it's important for when you're looking at the paranormal for you to explore yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean you learn psychic ability or you even accept psychic ability. It's why is it a journey of self-exploration then? And I'm going to ask you to chime in on that one, because this is what I felt needs to be talked about.
Well, if you're going to look into the paranormal, right, it's going to it's automatically going to send you down that road.
Yeah.
Right, if you experience the right things.
Yeah.
So to learn to be spiritual is because it's going to wake something up in you, because the more you delve into the paranormal, the more experiences you have, the more questions it throws up about the soul, our connection to it, the lineage between the physical and the spiritual. Yeah. So I mean, for us, we went genuinely on a spiritual journey as well as a paranormal one.
Yeah. Because
like I said, it woke things up in us.
Yeah.
And if you're just going down there to capture the paranormal, just to be, because you know, this underlying in your subconscious, there's a spiritual question you need answered.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, it's great. Like, I've seen people doing videos on Facebook and YouTube about going into investigating, they're getting lights flashing and red ponds going and everything like that. And they're brilliant, but they're not. They don't understand the complexity of how.
It's not teaching you anything.
Yeah, it's not
You're
teaching.
Not learning from it.
It's not bringing. It's not. You're not understanding the complexity of how much effort and things it took for that spirit to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And why it's happening, what it means, and everything else is sort of like it's just being overlooked by the fact it's happening. And I think it's important if you learn about yourself, your own spirit, your own soul, and how that connects to the physical, and how that like is the physical withers and dies, right?
Yeah.
And the spiritual continues.
Yeah.
And of course the two have to be in sync for you to truly exist. If they're both in sync, you can live an amazing life.
Yeah.
Right? If they're out of sync, you will have a continuous battle, because the things that happen and the things that place before you, you don't learn from. You don't gain any knowledge from them if they're out of sync.
Absolutely.
So it, for me, it's the spiritual journey I've experienced has been more profound than the paranormal.
Absolutely.
Because the paranormal was something that was always in my life.
Yeah.
And it was the starting point to lead me on the spiritual.
Yeah.
So it was needed. It was necessary. But the spiritual journey I've taken has been more profound. Yeah. My understanding of the world around us, and the world of spirit, and the world of the physical, myself, and what I've learned about myself inwardly. And it's, we've had a bit of I've had a bit of a crazy week. I've literally, like we just talked about, I've literally been to the peak of Everest and roller skated, skateboard back down. Yeah. In a week. Yeah. In a week. So it's, and that's through the paranormal and everything else that's gone on.
Well, a lot of it came from, if you guys remember, when back in about June time, we seen a message from the Council of 12, and we kind of thought, right, that's enough. Yeah. And we stepped away from it, and it's actually, that was a kind of like, that's what truly led to taking a look at it all, and sort of why are we getting these messages? What do they mean? We're even getting some of you guys now actually contacting us and saying, look, you haven't posted a video in a while. It's really important that you continue this work, and this work has continued. We have recorded more sessions with them since the last one we put up, and this is I think the next one we'll do would be a good Q&A one. Yeah. And that would be a good one. Like, one of the things I would like to do on the channel is to actually get you guys to put your questions and see if we can get those beings to answer them. Yeah. We will try and answer them, and then we'll give like the Ghost Box a bit of a chance to sort of, we'll kind of interview them in a sense. That would be kind of cool. What do you reckon? Yeah, would be interesting. It's just mad, because I was just sitting here and there was one part on one of the investigations that goes questioned at me. On one of I think the 7th one we did, and it's just like we were asking questions, because if you remember, you and Martin, we did 10 questions, and that kind of got a bit convoluted. I'd love to redo that experiment, and actually we do it in a sense of because this is the thing, that was like an outward point to the sort of journey. Then why is this happening to us? Why is that? And it's kind of like when I was exploring that journey, I'd find messages. Like the first Ghost Box I basically ever did, the first thing I laid eyes on the device basically was a message from my brother saying, look, you will learn to use this device, you will get messages through this device, and you will learn how to interpret it and sort of put it in a way that people can understand. And I've kind of gone a funny way with this scene. Yeah? Yeah, because they ask me questions whenever I encountered the Council of 12. Yeah. There's always been questions directed at me. With the Council of 12, my interaction with them, it's like what happens with mediumship. It's explaining mediumship. I've literally come to a point where I'm getting a bit disheartened, and I shouldn't, but I have. Yeah. About explaining spirit. Real spirit communication, right, and the rules and the regs, and if, like I said to you the other day, if you have a message from spirit, and you make a connection that you possibly couldn't know, and they go, you can see it in their face, like they want, and something might happen to them in their life. They don't understand that is part of their journey.
That experience cannot be given from spirit, can't be given by me, can't be given by anyone. It's a path you have to walk.
Yeah.
And not knowing that path is part of the journey.
Yeah.
It's what's important. It's not to know it, it's just for it to happen, so you're not expecting it, and how you react in that instantaneous situation.
Yeah.
And I've literally got a bit disheartened by just explaining it all the time, and I shouldn't, because if you don't understand it, you have them questions, but because you want to question it, you want to say, well, why can't I have this message?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like we've gone looking for missing people. Like I remember Chris saying, basically, he couldn't fathom why there isn't an angel that just comes out of the sky and goes, that person's right by here. They're right here. I said, because if that happened, there'd be no missing people in the world.
Yeah. And
we'd be flat out all the time just looking for missing people. It's like this. It's like the rules of it. It's not, we don't make the rules. They just have to be there. They're in place for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And that's a spirit. You've got to have a spiritual understanding of mediumship.
Yeah.
To really explain it.
That's what really disheartened me, was when people were asking, well, what's someone else thinking? You're asking me there to intrude on someone else's privacy.
Yeah.
You're asking me to do something on your behalf, which it's actually, there's a purpose as to why you don't, just to satisfy your insecurity.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. I will give you why that person is in your life and what the interaction with that person is. So I can give you the clues, but I'm not giving you the answer, because at the end of the day you don't learn nothing from it. And I think that's what that's what I think readings and sort of your conventional psychic readings have got it so wrong. I'm not saying I'm not talking about your sort of average sort of medium on the street, because most of them will actually work that way. You'll get good ones and you get bad. You get good and bad in whatever. It's the culture, it's what's expected now of a reading, because people who do go for readings, unfortunately a lot of them do it as like a weekly hobby. It's not meant to be like that.
The problem is as well is the media side of it, because you've got amazing mediums on telly, and because a person only sees a snippet of that person's reading ability, because they might have been filming all day and they've just gone up to someone and gone, oh, I got a Terry, and they died like this, and I can see they said birthday, and they go, oh my god, but they haven't seen the other 50 people that just gone, oh no, I suppose I can take that. And that's what happens, and people have an expectation of it.
Yes.
And I trying to explain to someone, if what you get isn't enough, and it's not the person you're looking for, but it's not enough, you shouldn't be having a reading.
Exactly.
Just the fact that you know that spirit is there, it should be enough.
Exactly.
And that's where it's like...
That brings a question into itself, doesn't it? It's like... well, why isn't that enough for you? And I thought, like,
I think it takes you further away from spirit.
Of course it does, because you don't let go, and that's the problem. It's like, it's not holding people. Everyone is sort of holding on for grim death to like the memories, or to what in their life is toxic to them, but they don't know any other way. And I'm not talking about like this as in someone that is exempt from this. I've been through this plenty of times in my own life, and I'm no different to anyone else with regards to this. This is purely how I've learned this by actually going through it myself. And you think that, I find, and this is the message I want to bring across in the film, is it's actually by letting go that you bring them closer, because you allow them to come in a way that's right for you, and not the way that you expect, or the TV says it's so, or because what's right for me and what works for me on my road may not be what works for you on yours, and it's... I'd attend. We'd look at some of the evidence that we'd collected, and you feel like that Oz in that Buffy episode where he goes, "Our lives are different to other people's," because you're exploring it, and you're constantly being fascinated by it. This is the thing. It's like,
well, there's the possibilities. The fact that you are part of the person's past. right?
Yeah.
You are made up of that person, right? And when you really connect with your inner self, you connect with that person, because they're part of you.
Yeah.
And you realise, like,
they have
just your life is they're living.
Yeah.
They're part of them is alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just in that, without the spirituality, without the connection, without the medium, just that. If you just believe that, that's enough. That should be enough.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that's where a lot of people who are more atheistic tend to actually believe that that part of that person rests in you, and part of you rests in that person.
Yeah.
And isn't that what the connection is all about? They have a part of you, and you have a part of them.
Yeah.
And I think that is, that is something that you look at sort of things.
That part of them can
give
exist.
Give an example. Flip it on his head. Have you ever met someone, right, for the first time, looked them across the room and gone, I know that person?
Yeah.
You've never heard them before, and everyone's had that experience, right? Yeah. Where you go, you've never met that person, you've never sniffed laid eyes on them before, right? And you've just gone, I know that person. And then you instantly I've had it about 4 or 5 different, it's not opposite sex, it's not, the first person I ever had it with was a big drummer from bloody Rumney and Cardiff. He was a big gun, he was. And it was just like...
Well, look how much it happens to me.
Yeah.
How many people go,
I know you from somewhere.
Yeah.
That's the flip side of it. That's the flip side of the coin.
Yeah.
Where you that part of you when you're grieving goes, I miss that person. You've got the other side of it when someone else comes to you and goes, I know that person. I used to bug the shit out of me because I'm like, where do I know you from? And you try and sort of go in your head and you're like, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there. Yeah. And obviously it's, past life.
Well, it's not just past life.
No.
This is what I mean. When you go down that, you take this path, there's lots of lines that lead to the same point, but they're different explanations for something that happens, but it genuinely is a spiritual thing in a different way of looking. So if somebody, the part of you I just said, we just said is a part of that person that lives in you, but they could exist, but that little part of them, it doesn't have, because your soul is brand new, right, when you're created. It's a brand new soul, it's a brand new spirit that's been created. So that person that's connected with you is just on the outside of you. Right? They're not living indirectly and you're looking at your thoughts and you can pick theirs out. And it's thinking about stuff
in
like
spirit
that.
now, you mean?
Yeah, in spirit.
Right, okay.
And connecting with that.
Yes.
Do you mean just believing in that? It's like when you meet someone for the first time. It's like how spirit, as we work as mediums, where we've said our energy just protrudes a bit. And you connect with that energy and all that familiarity happens in an instant. And you go, oh, I know this person. How do I know this person?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's because your spirits have, that's just one thing that's happened.
Yeah, that's another thing. Your spirits are kind of you see something in that person that reflects something in you. And it reminds you. It reminds you. Yes, it's a remembering. It's a remembering.
It's familiar.
Yeah.
It brings up that familiarity. That's why you go, how do I know this person? Because it's not just one way of looking at something with spirituality or the paranormal. There's multiple ways of looking at it.
Yes.
And Arthur C. Clarke said with this book, one of his books, he said 50% of this book is true, 50% of this book is false. I don't know which 50 it is. That's the same with all them answers.
I'm going to rob that. I'm having that enough. I'm having enough. As Arthur C. Clarke said, 50% of the story is true, 50% may be false. Who knows?
Yeah. But that's the same as these paths. That's the same as these outcomes. How you recognise someone. It can be just a psychological thing. It can be a spiritual thing. It can be a scientific thing.
It could be chemical.
It could be. It's this. It could be this. They smell familiar. But it doesn't mean that not all of them are the same.
Yeah.
Or none of them are what's the reason.
Yes.
That's why you've got to look at it. This. You know what I mean? That it's not just a one way view with spirituality. It's a multi view.
And you this is the thing, it's all views in a sense are needed, because to be honest with you, if we didn't have science, for example, we wouldn't know how things work. To me, I'm not looking at reading it from a book like the Bible or any sort of spiritual sort of book, or it's it's looking at your own book, and like you can take reference or inspiration from wherever you want. But I think when you actually step into that path or that journey of being spiritual, you allow yourself to take the inspiration from all angles. So it can be literally a line that's said on an advert, or it could be a passage in the Bible, or it could be a line in the Quran, or it could be a book on Buddhism, or it could be anything. But it also could be quantum physics, quantum mechanics. How does things like time travel work? And science fiction. You look at things like science fiction poses that sort of question, doesn't it? It's like you look at Star Trek Deep Space Nine, right? I've been watching Star Trek Deep Space Nine over, and it's like there was two shows back in the 90s. There was Deep Space Nine and Babylon 5, and both of them had really equally profound stories. One involved was basically Lord of the Rings in space, and the other was essentially, we always kind of thought that the Star Trek Deep Space Nine was always trying to catch up with Babylon 5, because the arc of Babylon 5 was a lot more tighter. It was a lot more sort of like, we know where this is going, this is kind of like where we need to bring these different things in and feed in this different plot line. Deep Space Nine done it in a much more crafty way, because it done it in a much more profound way, actually, for me, because it built up where you got the Bajoran prophets. Then, for example, the way on like the first episode of it, right? That has always been one of the most profound episodes for me, when he meets the prophets for the first time, and he talks about. They keep bringing him to the point his wife died, and he keeps saying, "Why do you exist here?" And it's so right, because it's not linear. When someone passes, for example, or you have, it's not just someone passing. Like a lot of the time, that is a catalyst for going on this type of journey. But for you, it was different. It was having these different experiences happen around you, and for other people, it can be. Like a political awakening. There's different ways in which this can manifest. It could be different relationships and people around you, or it could be a lot of different things. But you kind of like exist at that point for a while, and you're always there. You can't move past it. And it's like once you learn to move past that point and realise it's not linear, that point is important. There is something around that point, surrounding that point, that is giving you a reference. And like for me, it was Jonathan. It was seeing him passing away, and I've never only sort of really sort of in the last couple of years have I really sort of come to terms with that and realised that there was still a part of me there in the hospital, and to bring that part of me back and say it's okay. It's okay to move on. It's okay, because that's exactly what he wants me to do. Yeah, and since then, I've been able to talk to him much more clearly. My abilities have come, full circle, because I've let go of that. It's brought me closer to spirit, because it's allowed me to let go of that part of me that is not in that place. And it's not just the one place, it's been different places along the road, and that's the hard thing, because when you actually look at it, it's like an empty-handed leap into the void. It's like you're standing on a precipice and you can't see the bottom, it's just mist, and you're going to go ooh, and then once you realise that is actually the barrier in your way, that is actually part of you that understands that it is actually okay, we can embrace it, and you start to embrace it, and you realise that you jump off and you can start to float, or you can start to fly, or you can start, and that's kind of like where that's kind of the story that I've been on, is through that experience I've learned and grown so much as a person, and it has brought to me an understanding that would only work for me because he's my brother. But do you know what I mean? But that understanding has helped me with other connections and other people that have crossed my path, and it's crazy. It is. And that's this is where, when you're actually going and examining and looking into the paranormal, like, that was part of my path. I went the opposite way. I started examining the paranormal after I went down the spiritual road, and it became you have to come at it from a point of fascination, because it will tear down your belief systems. It will take your belief system and it will fucking go, have a bit of that, bang, and it will tear it straight down, and then it'll build it back up again until you get to the core. And when you get to the core, you realise that you are the centre of your own universe, that you need to live life your way, because only your way is right for you. You can't live anyone else's You can't live anyone else's way, and it's just
You're not supposed to.
No.
That's the thing with spirituality, and I've been through this week, and I just sort of not discovered. I can't say discovered, because when I meditated for years and years and years, for, a couple of days a week, and I really looked inwardly, massive self-discovery. Really woke up. I had an experience that is profound for me, and changed the way I saw everything. And you lose sight of that. The world makes you lose sight of it. Everything, we work and everything else, and families, and God knows what, your friends and stuff they go through, and you lose sight of everything, because it's a constant barrage, the world is. And for me, like this week, I've just rediscovered what I already know.
Yes.
And it was like I've just listened again to the stuff I've known. And
going over the old mixtapes, listening to the old songs, like.
And I literally checked an old mixtape on, and I've enjoyed the music, and I
checked an old mixtape on and I enjoyed. Sorry, I just love that.
Yeah, and it's been profound. It's been really something. Just this week is an incredible thing to be privy to. Is to find, just to accept, right, that science answers that, right, and religion answers that, and spirituality answers that, and the physical answers that, but they all connect.
But for you, your knowing and understanding, when you get to that point, it answers all of it. But it's like it's almost the case the answers will come.
I was shown this in meditation. I had an experience. Basically, I had like a breakthrough, and I went to the source, and I was shown all these things, and I tried to take in as much as I could. It was pretty overwhelming, but pretty just normal. And I took it all in, and then you forget that they all tie. You can separate them all, right? And that's the problem. Like, science separates from what we believe. And then and religion says we are bad, and science says we are nuts, and this says that, and the physical says all of it's bullshit. But you don't, when you realise they all mash and you put them all together, because it's a puzzle. And I was taught this by a very spiritual old lady, and she said it's a puzzle. If the pieces all fit together, if you can genuinely make that happen, then you've done it. You've done it. You've become a really good version of you. And that's what I've sort of gone through this week, and the pieces are starting to fit together. And it's just a belief. It's not living your life in servitude. It's just believing in yourself.
What was that thing you said the other day about Einstein? He said a life best lived is a life lived for others.
And
you said you hated that.
I did at first. I thought, no, it's not a life lived for others. But I didn't realise if you live a life for others,
they live for you.
They live for you. So
all your needs and wants are met, because you attracting what you need and what you want to you, and it's just a case of stepping off that precipice and saying, well, I'm ready.
It's believing that if I hurt you, I'm hurting myself. And if you hurt me, you're hurting yourself. Somewhere along the lines, God, all this, I say God, right, but all this wasn't created for you to really cause harm to yourself. And that's what you're doing. If you make anyone suffer, or you oppose your will on anyone, you're opposing your will on yourself, because you're damaging your progression.
Yes.
Because if you don't learn the lesson, it's not you're going to go to hell.
Yes.
You're going to burn in the fire. You know, you're going to just have to do that all over again.
Exactly.
And all over again, and all over again, and all over again. Because when we go back to source, it's got to be. It's like my story.
Yeah.
Is a story of source.
Yes.
So if I damage my story, all source is damaged.
Exactly.
And it's like
until you work it out, you can't go back to source.
Yeah. It's just And but the source, you are still you in the source.
Yes.
Because it's like a part. It's like a part that is you.
Yeah.
Do you mean you've lived through that journey? You've looked back at it and gone, wow, what a journey that was.
But that's the other thing, is when you come to that point of realization.
What a life that was.
Yeah, fuck guy. I got prompted, and it's almost like to say, when you come to that realization as well, you have to let go of the guilt, because it's.
Well, no, it's like Kirk said.
Yeah.
You need your pain.
Oh yeah, no. What I'm saying is, you don't let your guilt conquer you. You use those. You kind of say, you let, because there's different things. It's like, if you didn't know, when you're growing. Right, when you're going through this process, you might not have known certain things to act in a certain way was the right way or the wrong way. And then once you grow beyond it, you need to let go of, like, I learned that lesson. Once the lesson is learned, you move beyond it.
Yeah, you move beyond it. But if you don't learn the lesson, I genuinely think it is a head in your hand moment where you just go, oh my God, why did I do that when I know this now?
Yeah.
And that's what spirituality is about. It's understanding that people do things. It's not just looking at somebody hurts you, or somebody says something to you, or somebody does something to you. It's looking at the reason why. When you understand why, the pain isn't so bad.
Exactly.
When you understand they have an excuse, whether you might not, like, that might not be your excuse.
Yeah.
Just be grateful that you wouldn't act like that if that was done to you.
Do you know what the other thing that leads to, though? And I've been going through this. You look at certain events in your life that you feel were negative, and you're like, I'm been through this, I don't want to go back there, right? And you start to embrace them then as a positive. You start to see, well, actually, if I didn't go through that, if I didn't overcome that hurdle, if I didn't learn that lesson, I would never have been able to grow into this part of my life. I'm enjoying this part of my life. And it's like, actually, I could have enjoyed that part of my life if I had seen it this way. And that's what I'm kind of looking at. You kind of look back, because it's like, we were on about the mixtape. I've been using music, right, as a way of kind of, and I've been going back over old songs and old bands I haven't listened to in years, like going back like to childhood, and it's like as if those little sort of songs have got it, because I always used music as a way of like helping me work through something. It was like, when I listen to the songs now, it was bringing up little memories, like, well, that's why you went through that little bit, and that's why that bit happened, because it's led you here, and that's led you there, and that's led you to this sort of understanding of just who you are, that remembering of who you are, as Mr. Ike would say, you know. And I think that is something that.
But this is the problem. If somebody people say you get hurt. And you take that hurt and you go, right, I'm going to make them feel how I feel. Right? That's the journey. That's what, if you go, why did they hurt me? And you go, right, well, they've been through this, they've been through that, they've been through that. They might be just selfish, right? Because they were spoilt. Any reason you feel is the right reason, or you find out is the right reason, changes the way. Just in that thought pattern, it's just a thought pattern. It's nothing else. It's not being you're not being a monk. It's a good example.
I've been a monk. Imagine he's a monk.
That's a good point, actually. A monk, right? Or a nun, right? They isolate themselves from the outside world and give their servitude to God.
Right.
So in that isolation, they experience the same thing every day.
Yes.
They don't experience things that will awaken them. They isolate themselves, so they're not putting themselves in that experience, right? So if you don't have that experience, what are you really learning about yourself?
Exactly.
Right? Like, it's
a bit like that guy you said on the documentary, he's an expert in consciousness.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, how can you be an expert in consciousness? Because you only got your own consciousness, so
yeah.
You're an expert in yourself, you narcissistic bastard.
Yeah. You can't be an expert in consciousness
because you don't see it from your own point of view.
Yeah. So it's basically like that. If you keep yourself out, if you wrap yourself in cotton wool and you don't experience anything like a monk, and he lives his life in servitude of God, which makes, I gotta be honest, in my heart, somewhere in me, there might be a part of me that could understand. If I got to talk to a monk and understood why he chose that path, I might understand it better. But as it stands, it's like, why? Why does God need your servitude?
Yes.
Because he is you.
Yeah.
You are God. You're not serving yourself. You're serving an imaginary you that you think is completely disconnected.
Yeah.
But actually, So it's like you experience that pain, right? And how you treat that pain, just that thought pattern. If you think, well, they hurt me because of this, the hurt subsides.
Yeah.
Or it might stay the same. But it makes you react to the hurt in a completely different way. And you think, do I need to carry this with me? What good is this going to do me? Where can I take this? Why would I hurt them back?
Yeah.
What's the matter with them? You become instantly in that thought pattern, the spirit in you wakes up.
Exactly.
It just goes like that. It's like yawning in the morning. It goes, ooh, what's this thought? Right? And then you'll think, you'll go to the next step and something else will happen. And then you'll go, well, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And it's only a thought process. It's not you have to go out there and, chuck spears at whalers and there's people that want to do that.
Town crier.
Right? If you want to do that, because if that happened globally,
yes,
they'd understand that a whale is a sentient being, and you really don't want to chuck a spear at it.
Yeah.
Right? So you wouldn't need that position. You could just enjoy the world as it is, enjoy your friends, enjoy the beauty of nature and everything that's been created, so that you can exist. And it just makes you appreciate all the little things and all the things, and knowing that you don't understand everything, and there are things that are beyond your comprehension because it's above your pay grade.
Yeah. But
I still know it's there.
Yeah.
And I'm still happy about that.
Yeah.
I could, if God says, well, do you want to know how it works? I'm going, well, it's not.
This is what you got to go through first.
Yeah. It's like, well, is that going to do me? I'm just happy that it exists to make my life the way it is. Yeah. And it's such an eye opener. And I've been trying to, I've literally gone up and down because I went the opposite and come back.
Yeah. In
a week, and it's really something people, I think, should just try and embrace. It doesn't want you to, like I said, it doesn't ask anything of you but to try.
Yeah.
It's not about doing or else or.
I always say the clue is in the name.
Yeah.
Right? We're human beings. We're not human tryings.
Yeah.
We're not human doings.
Yeah.
We are human beings.
Yeah.
So kind of being it's being in that moment. It's bringing that moment into your awareness and allowing that moment to grow and flourish and nest and plant little seeds that start you thinking, right, is this the way I want my life to be?
Yeah. And
if so, why? There's no blame there. If it's not the way you want it to be, or if there's something missing, then you explore it, you play with it, you find out where it, and sometimes it'll take you to some places and it'll take you to some places sometimes it's hard to go, but you just got to ride the rapids through them and just like imagine yourself on a surfboard going through it and go, well, okay, you'll see a light at the end of the tunnel. It'll be a massive freight train, so you dive to the side of the tunnel, let it pass, and you go, well, that freight train's got to have come from somewhere. So you carry on going, and then once you realise that freight train has come from somewhere, you see the light, and it's easy then, you just sort of go through it, and you just go into it, and you step into it.
Yeah. It's just knowing you're supposed to fall.
Yeah.
It's part of the
lesson. You're meant to fall.
You're meant to fall.
Yeah.
Because if you don't fall, you don't know what it feels like to get back up.
Exactly. Doesn't matter how far you fall down, as long as you're 2 inches taller when you rise again. Like.
Yeah. If you remember that, if you take that into life, and so you fall and you think, oh my God, like my world's about to end, and then you just sort of like you get up. You should never knock yourself for falling. You should always pat yourself on the back for getting up.
Exactly.
And then...
And it is, what is death, right? And this is the question I ask in the film. What is death? But one thing death is an opportunity for rebirth. So in a sense, you can feel that, and that's exactly what like an awakening experience is. It is a death and rebirth. It's the cycle. It's no, you don't have to have, like, losing a job is a death.
Yeah.
Losing a loved one, in a sense, is equally as much as a death for you as it is for the person that's gone. Because the person that's gone doesn't really experience the death.
I think, personally, death is, in its design, it's designed to make life more precious.
Exactly.
And more of an experience.
Yeah.
And it's part of, it's for you, it's designed, death happens because you have to go there and then back.
Yeah.
So you have to, you're born, you live, you die, and it's the next step.
Yeah.
And that's something that went, obviously, in the creation of everything, the energy, the spirit, the soul was made first.
Yeah.
And when it chose to exist, as in physically, I had a good old think about it and thought, right, how can we have to have death. That makes life more spectacular and more precious, and it should, in reality, make him worth living more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not just in a selfish way. We're not talking about like just taking everything for yourself, because it's not about that. It's experience.
Yeah.
It's not about what you can't take nothing with you. You hear people say this. You can't take none of this with you when you move on.
Yeah.
But just the experience you take with you.
Exactly.
That should be the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you imagine the next day. Imagine you pass and you, whatever happens to us, and we've got all this we've learnt, and we're in this world, and you're like, I should imagine it's the most freeing experience.
Yes.
There is. It is like pure freedom.
Yeah.
Because you've gone, oh my God, I didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I just thought I was going to cease to exist for all time.
Yeah.
And like I didn't exist the same as before I existed. I can't remember before I existed.
Yeah.
I can just remember existing. So that, for 5 trillion years the planet was spinning round. I didn't exist. It didn't seem like a very long time. So it's like I can imagine that is such a thing. Because it's not like, oh, but I'm dead, what can I use it for? Did you see the life I had?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see the life I had?
Did you what I just done?
Did you see that?
It was good.
It was
the stories that we tell.
Yeah.
Like, it's the story. How do we experience life? We experience life in stories. When friends meet, we go, "Oh, you know what happened to me? Oh, but you never believe what happened to me. You do it to me all the time, but you never believe what happened to me the other day." Well, I was doing my rounds and that, and this happened to me, and oh my God, and it was just like we've done it with cases and stuff, and we're talking to friends, and I go, "Oh, but this case we went on, oh Jesus Christ, it was." I obviously you don't let any confidences slip, but you just talk about, perhaps a lot of the time, it's like, the hospital, brilliant example, the hospital video, and you're sitting there, and it's like, oh, but, we came away from that, and we were like, this night sucked, because we didn't capture anything. We walked around in this hostel, which is basically condemned. It is like something out of Resident Evil. It is that smashed up.
Yeah.
It is a death trap. How we come up with it alive, a bit of it, and then we didn't get home properly because you were car packed up.
Yeah.
And the next day we're sort of sitting there looking through the EVP, looking through the footage, like nothing's happened, this is a waste. And there's that one EVP that says, "Are you with us or not? Be warned."
Yeah.
Are you like, but? That was worth it because you didn't see it coming, you didn't expect it. There's no one in that hospital that could have said that. We were literally, it was filmed on the stairs, and we've got camera footage of us at the bottom of the stairs and you at the top of the stairs, and basically there is no way that could be for anyone else except an EVP. And it's just like that, you know, those sorts of stories where we tell them and they're like, wow.
Well, that's a good example, right? The EVP for that, right? Because we're going down this spiritual road. It made it beautiful.
Yes.
And it made it spectacular. And it was like, I should imagine most paranormal groups, they get back and they go, listen to this, and they all listen and they go, wow, that's like a class A and that's that. Whoa, can't wait to see what we get next.
Yes.
Right? And I want to get a better EVP and I want to get a better EVP. No, that's part of the experience. That is the best.
Yeah.
That is the best it will ever be in its own right.
Yes.
And then you might get another class A one.
Yeah.
And it's like we've used the connects and we've got activity and stuff and we like.
Yeah.
It's like it's the way you react to that.
Exactly.
It comes from a better place.
You appreciate the energy that it took for that to occur.
Yeah.
You are actually giving your it's the old Reiki principle, the attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
What you're doing, you're giving thanks in energy, so you're returning the energy that spirit has put out to actually to give you that evidence. You're returning it because you're not actually taking away by going, oh yeah, that was great, what are we going to get next? Because then you've already took its power away. You're taking the power away from that experience, not actually being in that moment like wow, and really like getting fascinated by it. It's like, what did it take? What were they trying to say? What was really going on there? What is it? Can we go back and explore that? Because I really would like to know more of that person's story. Actually, we need to do that.
Yeah, we do.
Because I would really love to know what went on there, and why we would actually ask that question. That has got to be. That's got to be penned in for like a future date, and it's good. It's gonna have to happen because a sequel to that would be amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, but so you're giving the energy back to it. So essentially, because obviously that moment was created by that spirit, and you're actually giving your attention to it, you're giving them the energy that spirit needs.
It's like when you see groups go into a room and they got, say for example, it's a good example, there's a REM pod.
Yeah.
And they go, come on, make it like that, come on, and they wait and they go, should we go on to the next?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like there's no patience in it. If I'm in a room and I got a REM pod down and I'm picking up all the energies, and if that REM pod doesn't go off, I'm not disappointed.
Exactly, because you've already experienced it.
Yeah, I feel like there's something to be done. Or I feel like the place has a spirit, and I feel like and I can see all the things that's gone on there. Because I'm thinking in a spiritual mind and I'm thinking all this energy and I'm just the experience of it, the privilege of it, and the more spiritual you become, it's like beyond what just that REM pod going off.
Yes,
it's like I see what it takes.
That's
and
the icing on the cake. That's just you know, that's the bit that you can sort of say.
Patience is a massive thing with the paranormal. Yeah, because patience teaches us spirituality.
And it gives you, like, you can appreciate it in its full right. It's like saying, it's like being given a good meal, right? And someone's like really prepared the meal. Like my grandfather used to cook his own veg, he used to like peel it, probably prepared it. And you would sit there and you would appreciate that meal, right? Because it was just like, it was divine, right? Yeah. It was absolutely divine. His potatoes, oh my God. You've never tasted anything like I taste. But he grew up. Yeah. He grew all his veg himself, and all the veg was from the garden. Yeah, from his allotment, and he would make sure it was a ritual. Every Sunday we'd go down and we'd all be there, and we'd get sick. This is the thing, right? Because you can. When I say about letting go of the guilt, like when my grandfather's been gone now for 50 years, right? Yeah. And it was times I used to get sick of it, because it's like every Sunday we're doing. And I didn't see the effort that he was putting into it and what that meant. That was his way of showing his love to the people that he had loved the most, because he was actually putting that love into the earth and watching it grow. And that was like something like when you look at it, and it's a bit like that's the same thing as like saying, well, you eat it, it's like, oh, that was nice, Dad, what's for dessert? Without actually experiencing what it meant to. And I was talking about this to my mum the other day, and we were saying, like, you know, it's like, why you always like your mother's cooking? Right? Why is your mother's cook? Why is it no cooking like your mother's cooking? Or your grandparents cooking? Right? If obviously depending on the relationship with your mother, right? If you've got a bad relationship, and obviously you wouldn't have, but you would have this relationship with a certain figure in your life, right? It could be a friend, it doesn't have to be, you know, that, right? Because I think what it is like, especially like when you're growing up, whoever it is that takes care of you when you're growing up or whatever, that person puts love into it, because they put the care, they put the energy into it. They want you to, you know, enjoy it. Yeah, they want to enjoy it with you. For some people, that, you know, and it doesn't have to be mother's cooking. Obviously, it can be something else. It can be like, it can be being with animals. Do you know what I mean? It's like giving that care to an animal, to a pet. You know, that pet returns it through love. Yeah. Because you're making sure that pet has a nice. And I think it's like one of the responses that we had, where I asked, it was before the bit about Sam that we show on one of the previous investigations, right? Yeah. I kind of started this, right? And I asked, was you in my room the other night? Well, actually in this room. And he said, yes. The dog with no teeth walked in. He was crying. I don't understand why you gift him a home. And it's like that when you say about when they ask you questions, that was something. It's like they had no concept of it. So I asked them about it, because I had a bit of a session with meditation. I asked them about it. I said, well, if you think about it, we know that concept of if we hurt another, we hurt ourselves. So we don't have the same makeup as you guys, because you haven't come to that point yet as a species where you have that concept. That if you hurt someone else, you're actually hurting yourself. Because to be honest with you, you never know how that other person's going to feel. The only thing you have to gauge it is your own experience. And if you have no other experience of what that person is feeling, how do you know that that person feels love the way that you feel love? Because, you know, and I always say I always say about my eyesight, because, you know, people say, oh, you've got bad eyes. What can you see? And I go, what can you see? I've got no basis for comparison. I couldn't tell you. How do you know if you have two people with 20/20 vision if they don't see a different thing? You know, you can look at that sky out there and that sky is blue, you know. But if I looked at it from your eyes, it could be dirt red. It could be the colour of shit. Like, for all I know, it's just, that's you view the world. So you might view that sky, but because we both look up and go, that's the sky, it's blue, we both recognise it in our own terms, in our own frames of understanding. Do you know what I mean? I think that's where mediums get it wrong. That's because spirit will give, the spirit will try and put it in a term that the medium can understand. The medium's job then is to put it in a term that that person can understand. And I think that's what a lot of mediums, definitely what I got it wrong. When I was working with my mediumship, that's where I got it wrong. Was I was getting, like, they couldn't take what I was seeing, right? But if I actually stood back and said, right, what they're giving me is a concept, and if I explain the concept of why I understand this as a jewellery box, they're giving me a jewellery box, right? Now, or they're giving, like we could say, right, okay, someone has a reading from their grandmother and say, being given a cross, right? And that cross, to me, I could say, well, she's giving me a cross, love. She's giving me this gold cross. And she was, oh, well, she never gave me a gold cross, love. I'm sorry, I can't take that. Right, okay. So then, and it's like you've got that voice in your head that sort of puts it apart. And you think that's when the doubt will creep in, and you think to yourself, well, hang on, and does this mean I'm no good? Because you can't take what I just said. We don't take that step back before we ask the question. When we're actually being given the cross, right, is it a physical object? And trust and response, because the spirit will tell you, but you will just have it as a feeling, or you might have it as an image, or you might have it as a sound, you might have it just as a vibration, or a sensation, or an emotion, or whatever, but you will know deep down, if you allow that knowledge to come in and go, right, okay, it's not a physical object. What does it symbolize? Was she religious? Well, yeah, actually she might have had, yes, it's kind of being not quite there. Okay, what's the message that she wants to tell with this? And it could be that the cross to her was not a religious symbol, it was a symbol of faith.
Yeah.
And she's giving you the cross to say, have faith. And that's kind of like where, when you're working with someone and it becomes natural, the more you work on it, it becomes kind of like more of a natural thing. My advice is, if you're going to explore this road, explore you. You know, when I first started, and I started having all these different things coming out back in around about 2009, that I was speaking to this guy on this forum, and he said, why do you want to go down this journey? I'm like, I want to talk to the dead. And he went, wrong answer. I went, what do you mean? I went, wrong answer. He said, there's only one right answer to this, otherwise you're going down it for the wrong reason. And I said, why? And he said, you explore it. I kind of thought, he made me think, and he was quite abrupt about it. I thought, you cheeky bastard, like. Yeah. But he done it to make me think. Yeah. He did. He done it to make me think to myself, why do I want to go down in it? And he was like, I went, to be honest, but I just want to find out. I want answers. I want to find out. And he was like, right, now you're getting there. You go down this journey to explore you. Because that's the only way you can.
Well, when I refer to spirit, because I'm so used to saying it, when I refer to spirituality, I don't mean mediumship or being psychic.
Or any religious connotation, or monotheism or polytheism.
Exploring spirituality is the spirit in you.
Yes.
Because you can only explore, that's the only thing you can really explore first.
Yes.
You have to look inwardly before you can look outwardly. So when I always say spirituality, because it's a connection. To me, it says, spirituality means to me a connection to my spirit.
Yes.
And through my connection to my spirit, I connect with others.
The paranormal and the connection to your spirit. I think that is the excellent title for this podcast. And yeah, we might actually start doing the Now Debates as a podcast, because we are going to get other members of the team involved now. We've had a couple of requests, and maybe some of you guys as well. If you guys want to get involved.
I want you guys to interact with this more than anything, because it's the stories said in the right way and told in the right way that help people with their spirituality.
Maybe there's a way we can create an open. I wonder if we can look into like Discord or something. Yeah. And set up like a Discord community, or we can call it the Now Debate community. And anyway, we can join it. We can just have like spiritual conversation. Oh, wow. Yeah. What do you reckon about that? We'll set up like a community where we can all do it through a voice. I'm not sure if Discord can do it. We'll have to have a look. If any of you guys know any apps or community-based social media, this is how we know you've reached the end of the video, right? But we really need to know this. If any of you guys know any apps or things that you can use where you can literally just join a conversation and have like an open forum for like open discussion, then let us know, because that would be epic.
That would be epic.
That would be epic. We can all talk and talk about different things.
If there is such a thing, that would be an amazing tool.
Right. Thank you for joining us, guys. You've been watching the Now Debate. I've been Jared Wildest.
I've been Richard Oliver.
And love to you all.
Have a night, guys. You're asking the spirits again, can you move this glass? Can you use our energy?
My name is Jared Walters. In 1999, I lost my brother Jonathan to a congenital heart defect that's affected my whole family. Since then, I've been on a journey of self-exploration.
So this is the first version of the two we use, which is for the live streams. The box in this, okay, we got, obviously you see the lights, it helps with
vision.
Yeah, vision. Good intent, white light, okay, to keep us protected, keep us safe. And then we've got the crystals along the top for crystal energy. The energy then from the copper and the silver that's on there. Okay. And then we've got obviously the electrical energy, which is obviously from the batteries, and you also got our physical energy as well, so we can hold on to the device with the copper and stuff and give our energy into it. So we've got 4 different types of energy there that we can use. All helps with spirit communication.
This journey has led me to connect with my brother once again in spirit, and through living my life and following this connection, I have found the story he wants to tell. We feel there's a finality in death, but I hope this film and the evidence it shows will help bring you comfort, but also help you understand there is a message that our loved ones want to give us.
And given this message, and it's from spirit.
Can I just ask, is your name Patricia?
Why did you get that from?
I don't know, it's my auntie and I just felt something.
Is it? We can ask if she's over there. Yeah? Is Patricia here with... It's a little bit of hope. It's a little bit of faith.
The message I have been given by Jonathan is that life truly is eternal. He's just a normal guy from a town in South Wales. But if my loved ones are connecting with me and helping me on this journey, you can bet that yours are still with you, not just watching over you, but walking beside you, living their life alongside yours just next door. You just need to know where to look.